Happy Spring Day, everybody! Finally, hope everyone this finds everybody well. I wanted to start off by just saying thanks for all the hard work that's going on at Metro Teenage. I know folks are working really hard. If you've seen the leaders, the most recent leaders on alert, there's a lot to be proud of there. Particularly, I want to shout out to the Real Talk ambassadors. Have already reached 7,000 young people, and really, it makes me very proud, but also that almost every program has some program areas we are already at 50% or above, or 50% of the year, 50% above of our targets, and in some cases we've already exceeded our annual targets. And so I just want to say thanks. I know people are working really hard, and it's both noticed and very appreciated. I want to thank Sammy, who does the Leadership on Alert. It's an important tool that we have to let us know that we're on track. And I know that she does a lot of stuff behind the scenes, so I just want to say thank you to her. Thank you, Sammy. We've talked about the changes that are coming with healthcare reform and how important it is that we be the best that we can be at what we do. And so I just want to say thanks for folks for helping to really move us in that direction and for working so hard, because we are starting to see the first few signs of how healthcare reform is going to shape and impact HIV services. Most recently, the most recent Ryan White application was very different than anything we've seen before. So we know that things are changing, and we're going to move forward in really three strategic ways to make sure that we keep the organization as strong and healthy and serving the youth that we're also committed to serving. I really want to talk about those three ways. The first is really about strengthening the organization, and we've been doing that work already. Hiring a chief operating officer, obviously hired Craven, but also the grants management engineering piece. Folks worked really hard on that, and I appreciate that. Try to make sure that we are 75% grant funded, so it's really important that our grant program be as streamlined as possible and really work for the organization. So over the next year, we're going to continue to work on more of those areas and figure out I'll make sure all of our systems are strong. The second place where we need that we see our pathway forward is really being the strongest HIV organization that we can be. For what HIV funding is available out there, we need to make sure that we are the most competitive. So our ability to achieve both our targets, but also really being able to assess our outcomes and impact and talk about the change that we're able to make for kids is going to be crucially important. And so I look forward to working on that. And then finally, really, looking at really what we're calling kind of our pivot options or our evolution. What are those things that we do really well that we could bring to bear on other issues, health or otherwise? Could we be doing more around teen pregnancy? Could we be doing more around making sure that healthcare reform gets implemented well for young people? And just as a good example, Real Talk is already really having conversations in the redesign about how we could affect not just HIV, but broader health issues, but also making sure that young people are workforce ready when they finish our programs, and also make sure that they're really focused on educational attainment. So there's a lot of conversations to be had, and we will have moving forward. This is both a scary and an exciting time, I think. It's going to take work, but I feel very confident that we have the right team to help us get to the place that we need to be. So once we get some of those new folks on and relieve some of the stress, I also think that we'll really be able to take off and do really important things, so which I'm very excited about. We will try to be sensitive and sensible in terms of how we approach what the extra work that's going to need to accomplish to move Metro Teenage on all three of those pathways forward. And I will work really hard, and I ask you to work with your managers and directors to make sure that workload doesn't become unmanageable. And I just want to say that I know that communication is going to be key here, and I will promise to do my best to communicate, but I also really encourage each and every one of you to ask the questions that you want to ask, and you can ask your manager, your director, myself, Craven, Shelley. The more questions, the better. We want people to know, if you remember at the retreat, what it happens when there's not enough information is people tend to awfulize, and really the important solution for that is to be able to ask the right questions. So questions are welcome. I do want to say thanks to Raul, who's working on setting up a fun day, and that those kind of opportunities are so important for us to try to make sure that we continue our really strong cohesion as an organization and as coworkers, especially now that we've become so big. And also, if Michael hasn't talked to you about getting involved in the Harlem Shake, he probably will any day now. So thanks also to him for always trying to find really fun ways for us to celebrate in our work. There are a number of positions still open: the Chief Development Officer position, the Prevention Director, and the Finance person. They're all open, and we are starting to receive good resumes. The Prevention Director has taken longer than we had hoped. We also are trying to wait to hear on some funding to help to cover that position so that we can make sure we do the right hire. But we are looking at resumes now, and we are trying to move forward on all three of those positions. And as soon as we know more, we'll let you know, or who will be involved. And finally, I just again want to say, the end of April marks our first half of 2000 and our fiscal year 2013. And I just want to say thanks to everybody for working so hard. For the leaders on Alert, looks great. There's great work happening in Metro Teenage. Kids are getting served really well. So thanks for helping do that. That's really the most important thing, and that's what will carry us through to our new place. Anyway, thanks very much for watching. Please ask questions as you need. I am very confident that we'll be able to move to a new place and be able to think of new and creative ways to serve young people. So have a great day. Thanks.